Hey, I'm John Greaves III. I'm the founder of Garage Gym Life, and I've got a unique treat for you guys today because my guest, Eric Eccles, has done something that very few home gym owners can say that they've done, and that is he has partnered with AbMat in order to bring a product to market. Eric, thanks for joining me, man.
Thanks for having me.
Man, it is a pleasure. Now, I am wearing my HomeGymCon shirt because that is where I actually met Eric in person. And I actually met the guys from AbMat there that same day. So, in honor of that occasion, I'm wearing this shirt. But before we get into the conversation with Eric, let's check out the shirt of the day from the Garage Gym Life merch store. The shirt of the day is the best gym in town shirt. Regardless of where in your house your home gym is, it's the best gym in town because you've spent the time to custom tailor it to you. So let's celebrate that with this awesome shirt. It's comfortable to wear out and it's awesome to work out in, even when you start to sweat on those dog days of summer in your garage. So go ahead, hit that link that's down here underneath this video and grab this fresh home gym merch or any other shirt that you like to get from our store and support your favorite YouTube channel while you're at it. Okay, and that was the shirt of the day. As always, you can find the shirt of the day by going to the link that's below this video. It supports the channel and it gets you decked out in the coolest home gym merch so that you can represent our lifestyle and look good while you do it. All right, Eric, so tell me about this thing. You got a product with AbMat. What is your product?
So it's called the Saxon Grips. It's the idea basically came from a fat grip. So it's a 3x3 pinch block accessory that can go over a barbell, dumbbell, trap bar, cable handles, a whole bunch of different things.
What gave you the idea to, create this thing?
So for a while, I was doing a lot of grip training stuff with some equipment that I've got from Arm Assassin, so I'm wearing their hat.
Okay.
So I was always kind of interested in it. And then Jake from Garage Gym Experiment had a podcast with Ricardo Magni, who's the
Yeah.
president of Arm Lifting USA.
Yep. He's a good dude.
And then I reached out to him on Instagram and actually had him as a coach for a few months.
Ah,
And
okay.
I never had fat grips or anything. And he told me that that's the first thing I needed to buy.
Hmm.
And seeing some of the lifts they do, and after having the fat grips, it was just like a light bulb in my head. I'm like, well, why can't we just do that?
Okay.
So that's where the whole idea came from.
What was the next step as far as getting it in front of AbMat and getting them to agree to collaborate with you? Because I know they probably get thousands of ideas from people like, hey, I want you to make this widget. What was that process like?
Very uncomfortable for me because I'm not a talker, so it's hard for me to uh, do all that. But when I was originally thinking about it, I sent them a message on Instagram right away,
Okay.
and then I quickly unsent it. I'm like, no, they're not going to want to do this.
Well, what
And
did you
then
send them a message about? Did you like have like a mock-up, or did
so
you like that's what, did you send them a picture, or did you just type them a text message on Instagram?
just I just typed them a message. The first thing I did is I drew it up on a piece of graph paper,
Okay.
and I work in a machine shop where we have a lot of like 3D modeling software.
Okay.
So I had one of my buddies at work on his lunch break take my paper, draw it up into a solid model file. So it was already ready to go.
Okay. Okay.
So then after that, I talked to Rob from Vintage Weights PGH,
Mm-hmm.
and because he's into grip stuff now too, and he
Yeah.
just kept telling me, he's like, you gotta talk to AbMat, and then he sent me a link of a timestamp from an interview with Garage Gym Experiment where he details exactly how to go about approaching him.
Right.
So I went through that whole process because he doesn't want to know anything about it. He just want to know that you got something.
Right.
And then he's like, all right, set up a call, and then called him on when my boss was at lunch so I wouldn't get in trouble.
Uh-oh, the
And
word's about to get out.
yeah, he's like, all right. Uh, and then just kind of pitched it to him in the parking lot at work. And, I basically had everything ready to go. So he's like, all right, send me what you got.
Okay.
And the next day he was already 3D printing the first prototype because I had it, file that he could just import right into his printer.
Got you.
So
Okay. Okay. Okay.
before I contacted AbMat, I reached out to some companies about the cost to do it myself.
Uh, yeah.
And the price tag on that was a little more than one guy could handle. So
Uh,
because I work in machining, so I know a little bit about making the molds, and it's not a cheap process. So we
right.
got lucky on that one. But
The thing that occurs to me next is this is a product that's going to appeal primarily to people who train grip and who compete in grip sport. But how are they receiving it?
so I have a few people that are big into grip. I've been to Lucas a little bit. He thinks that it's going to do really well.
Okay.
Um, Another guy, Timmy Livingston, just got his today. He's high up on a lot of the grip stuff. He seems to like it so far. Um, I did bring it up to York's.
You brought it up to
Brought
who?
it up to his house a couple weeks ago. Joel Dirks.
Oh, Joel Dirks. Okay. Okay.
He's working out at the Shaw Classic right now. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
he's a big dude. He got his
Yes.
hand. He seemed to like it. And
The reason why I asked that is because with grip athletes, either you compete in arm lifting, which is a standardized set of events, but those products primarily come from Iron Mind. Unless that's changed,
yep.
back when we were live streaming their events, all the products came from Iron Mind. And so that kind of like not, and so athletes tend to want to train on what they're going to compete on. So they're used to it, right? And then
Yep.
if you got something like King Kong or World Series of Grip, something like that, those events tend to be a little bit more all over the place, non-standardized. It's kind of just like, it's more like strongman, like, hey, what can you pick up, right, with just your hands? But then it's still like you have to get the buy-in, you know what I mean? Because you've got like 75 different kinds of grippers. So grip athletes are like, I'm already buying all this stuff. So really all you got to do is get them to see the thing and be intrigued by it. And they'll be like, oh, that's kind of fun to grip. You know what I mean? That's kind of fun to play with. And it seems to me
Right.
like that's when it just takes off. So having somebody like Joel Dirks, especially, he's got a high profile name, not just in the grip world, but also in the strongman world, seems to be something that's going to help you out a whole lot. I know that some of the guys who are members of my the Discord that you and I are both in, the Garage Night Discord, have
Yep.
already picked up some. Have you been getting any feedback from them?
Yeah. The one thing that me and did discuss, and I've gotten responses a few times, is the diameter over certain. If it's a bigger dumbbell, it's the diameter doesn't really fit that well.
Okay.
That's like the only downside it's been so far. But
Mm-hmm.
um, like Jared, he said that he's not sure how he really feels about the little give,
Okay.
but it's rubber, it's not metal like a
Yeah.
normal Saxon, so it's going to give a little give, which
Right.
is actually one of the things that I like, because being that it does give a little bit, it feels like you can squeeze even harder and just
Mm-hmm.
keep squeezing.
Right.
It's like with the metal, it only feels like you can squeeze so hard before you finally give out. So
Right.
some gets lit up when I use this.
Okay. And that doesn't happen when you use the regular Saxon bar?
No, not really.
Okay. Okay. Um, with AbMat doing it, it's basically just on their website. Am I correct?
Correct.
And you get a percentage of the sales.
Yep, they do. They're, that's what they're known for, is,
Yeah.
their motto is collaboration, not competition.
Right.
Just
Right.
everybody wins.
You don't have to tell us like what your percentage is. I don't want to know that. But it's basically they're handling the distribution and so that it can, somebody in China and somebody in East Peoria, Illinois, both order at the same time. They're gonna get, they're both gonna get their product. Whereas if it was you distributing it, then well, you got a full-time job. So then they have to wait till you have a day off or time to get to the post office or to do the shipping, and then your costs go up. So AdMat is going to handle that with their distribution network. And they're also able to ship for less because they're not shipping just that one thing. They've got like an entire
Right.
range of products that are going out. You know what I mean? So it's more cost effective for them to ship it out. And then they're honoring the fact that you brought this design to them by making sure that you're compensated for your intellectual property. Is that basically the arrangement?
Correct. Yeah,
Cool, cool.
they send out a licensing agreement. I made sure to read through it instead of just scrolling to the end, you know,
Nice.
scroll
Okay.
through it, read through it, sign it, send it back.
Awesome.
So
So because it's licensed, it's exclusively licensed with AbMat though. Am I right?
correct.
And the reason I brought that up is this is a big thing, especially in the home gym community. It's kind of sad, it's kind of not. It's sad to me on a lot of levels. Um, but some people don't see anything wrong with it, and that is the knockoff, right? As soon as somebody sees this
Yep.
thing, they're gonna start saying, "Oh, I could make that in the house," you know, whatever, right? How much does that concern you?
Uh, I guess I'm not really concerned because I kind of figure that it's gonna happen. Um, is that I'm not thinking it'll be an American company that'll knock it off. Um, I talked to Dylan when we started, and he said pretty much Chinese companies are notorious for coming after everything he does, so expect it. So kind
Yeah,
of soften the blow right away. So
yeah. I mean, that's kind of so. That's why I said it's kind of sad because it's not like you're wealthy. This
right,
is um so let's use another example. So Mark Bell came out with the slingshot, and there's some controversy about that. But the point is, he got the slingshot. The slingshot is what helped propel him into being able to start a business and get his business going to what it is now, right? And I mean, he got end up with some other products and things like that. But the foundational thing was the slingshot. And when he did it, he was in a situation kind of like you. It's like, okay, this is what I have, right? And so that's why I say it's kind of sad because it's like you got a company overseas that's got cheaper labor, multiple companies overseas that have cheaper labor, and they don't care about Eric Eccles. You know, they don't care about that. They're like, oh, this is
no,
a great product. We can make money off of it. Fine. And there's some of the perception is that okay, people in America are just rich. Oh, this is a company making it. This corporation, you know, they're making money anyway. Blah blah blah. Who cares? When it in this situation, it boils down to they're cutting into profits that can help you, and you legitimately you're just you know, a one person entity, right? You know, a blue collar dude. So does that bother you? Which bothers you more? Chinese companies doing it or some dude from the home gym community who sees it and has a 3D printer and decides to make it and throws up his knockoffs on Etsy? Because that's going to happen too.
yeah, that's a fair question. I think a 3D printed one, I don't know how you could get it. Well, not to say Chinese quality would be that great either, but
Right.
I'd be they're both kind of irritating, but I would be more interested to see how somebody with a 3D printer decides they're going to try to tackle it and
Right.
make it functional.
Gotcha. David Dennis actually gave me some really, really good feedback on that. David Dennis owns Gorilla Strength Equipment. He's a good dude. And he said to me, he said, you know, the people who are going to like come up with a do-it-yourself hack for this product aren't in my target market anyway. They weren't going to buy it. So they're not actually taking a sale from me if they make it themselves. But it's when somebody knocks it off to go sell it that
Yep.
is like an issue, right? At the same time, how cool is it that you've got a product that you can say, I'm an inventor?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been like a more creative person, and it's always just been super hard for me to, as I say, put the pen to the paper. Like it's always up here, but how
Yeah,
can I get it out there? And my engineer buddy at work that helps me with the models, he's a lifter too, so he kind of understands what I'm trying to get across. So he's helped me with um, speaking of the DIY knockoff thing. Uh, I talked to Havoc when I made my globe triad system.
yeah,
So I did basically a different grip off of that. I talked to them the whole time I did it. I bought the triads. I basically reverse engineered it. And I basically told them, like, I'm making this just for me. Just so you
right,
know, I'm not going to sell it. This
yeah.
is for me only. Um, but yeah, that was a that was a cool process. But at the same time, like you said, you're the gorilla strength guy. I had to kind of, and I made a wood version first.
Okay.
It's like I had to try it before I bought it to really kind of understand what the big hype was.
Yeah.
And once I tried it, which is another reason more people need to come to HomeGymCon, because you can try everything before you buy it.
I did an interview with Jonathan on the No Fate channel, and he said, you know, HomeGymCon, is it
Yep.
overrated or underrated? And I said it is 100% underrated. People who haven't gone don't understand how cool an experience it is and how beneficial it is to you and how much you'll save money just because you get to try a bunch of things that normally you would only see
Yep.
online. So now you can figure out if this is going to work for you. Instead of ordering the thing, it gets to your house, you realize you can't use it, and now you got to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah, I tried the JD gym equipped knurled rope, the grip machine. I bought both of those.
Nice.
I tried Reps double black diamond. Loved that. Had to get that. So I don't think I would have bought it if I didn't get my hands on it.
And you got a bench press PR. I was watching.
Yeah,
I was
rough.
right there.
That was a rough day. But this year I got one of my work buddies and his friend are going to go, and we're going to drive the 11 hours down this time. So we'll have a truck to bring some stuff back that companies don't want to take home. So
there you go. Okay. I said, and there are going to be more companies this year.
yes.
So you're going to have access to a lot more stuff. So, hey, that's my commercial for HomeGymCon. If you haven't been and you're on the fence, HomeGymCon 2024 is going to be lit. We're going to be there doing some live streaming and have some content for people who can't make it. And in fact, if you've not seen any of our coverage of HomeGymCon, I got the link just going up over my head right now. You guys, I encourage you to check it out. And then once you watch it, do not wait. Go buy your tickets because you'll enjoy it. And the resort itself is really cool.
It's probably the biggest hotel I've ever been to, and it's in the middle of nowhere, and I love every part of it.
So how tough was it to be at HomeGymCon, see AbMat, know they're developing a product for you, and not say anything to anybody?
Well, the guy that I went with, Jameson, I tell him everything, so he knew everything going into it. So when I had done the pitch with AbMat, you know, I said, "Hey, see you next week," and they're like, "What? You're going?" I was like, "Yep, I'll make sure to come and introduce myself." So I did.
Nice.
And kind of got to know each other a little bit there. So that was nice, kind of break.
So that's even better. So there's like a networking opportunity. I mean, you guys already had contact, but it was, yeah, like you said, it broke the ice.
100%. You got to go to HomeGymCon to network, whether it's just for friends or for companies. You know, it's just nice to know who you're going to work with if you're going to try and pitch something.
Yeah.
And everybody's super open and friendly, and it's an amazing experience.
Okay, so we've said all this cool stuff about HomeGymCon. How excited are you about the fact that next year at HomeGymCon, your product is probably going to be there and you'll get to actually stand next to it and tell people, hey, yeah, this is my product and this is how I developed it?
But what I'm probably going to do is stand next to whoever's there. I'm like, "Oh, have you seen that?" and try to
act like it's not even yours. Like,
or,
oh yeah, I think you should really buy that. Yeah, that's hilarious.
100%. And depending on if the AbMat rep that's working there knows who I am or not, I'm like, "Oh, what do you think of that?" And just try to get them to
Even like undercover boss. It's like undercover boss.
Yep.
That's funny right there. All right. What was the first thing you thought when you actually saw your product hit the website? You're like, I got a product I invented for sale and it's live.
So he actually put it on the website that Thursday night just to have it on there.
Yeah.
And I'm in a podcast group with Garage Gym Experiment, and as soon as I saw it, I like sent it out to as many people as I could. And Eric Carp from
Coach Carp, yeah.
Coach Carp.
Yeah.
He's the first one that went on and bought it. He's instantly, I'm like, all right, this is sweet.
I can just imagine how big your smile was, man.
Oh, yeah, and I had to work the next day, and I'm sitting there like trying to scroll through the whole night. I'm like, come on. Like, then trying to get people to share it to their stories and send this thing, and I'm trying to go, and I'm like, I need to go to sleep, but I can't.
All right, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. But there's a couple things I want to make sure we get done. So we're gonna give the link for where you guys can purchase this product. But after people buy it, like you said, you want people to, share it to their stories or whatever and let you know what they think of it. So do you want them to just kind of like tag you on Instagram? Should they tag AbMat? Should they tag you and AbMat? Like, how can people give you feedback on it and let you know that they bought it?
Yeah, you can go ahead and tag me and AdMat. Both is fine.
Okay.
My handle is Eccles underscore basement underscore gym. And obviously AdMat's AdMat. If you tag me in anything, I'm going to reshare it because I just like it so much that I just like seeing it. So, and then,
Okay.
yeah, after I see it, I'm going to message you probably asking what you think of it because I want to know everybody's opinions on it, good or bad. Just want to know.